That night. So I did that. We had fun.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't danced like that in a minute.
Definitely. I danced. I was just looking.
Yeah, he was too cool to dance, but it's all good.
Too cool. Yeah, I just didn't feel like being the only dude on the dance floor.
It would have been good. It would have been nice if you would have danced with your woman, but it's all good. Whatever. Let's see. What else? Nothing much. Working, kids, school. They now starting Monday. They are officially on spring break. So that's going to be fun. A lot of the groceries is going to be gone now.
Right.
Faster,
that's the thing.
Faster than normal.
Right. Definitely. So when you're around the house all day, of course you go eat more. That's not even just for kids though. That's for adults too. So like if you sitting around the house all day, you don't have nothing to do but eat. So that's definitely gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty much that's it.
That's it. What about the AAU team? Let's talk about something. Like, you know what? You want me to just tell what happened with your life? Like, you want me to tell what happened with your life, or you want to tell it?
I want to tell it. You can't tell my life.
Well, go ahead then.
What happened with my life?
Right, because you don't remember.
No, you talking about the AAU?
Yeah.
So my son Ryan, he's a basketball fiend. He loves to play basketball. So he plays for Southfield High SAT. But their season is over, so he just had to be in another league, and so now he's currently today is his first game. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it today, but I will be there tomorrow. But he's with Hype.
Yeah, Hype.
Mm-hmm. That's the team he's on for the AAU. So they have a tournament all weekend. He's excited, and I can't wait to go see him tomorrow to play.
Okay, tell the truth. Tell the truth about what we think about Hype. AAU team.
Well, you know what? They came off. They have came off very unorganized.
Yeah.
Especially for the amount of money that they want. I don't even want to say the amount of money that they that they're asking for.
Right. Anybody familiar with Hype AAU and you from the Metro Detroit area, you probably already know what we're talking about.
So yeah, hopefully they get it together. This is be the first unorganized game ever, and hopefully afterwards it be some togetherness.
I'm gonna tell you how unorganized it is, though. He even mentioned to me that they got a text from their coach today, said that to make sure they wear white T-shirts because possibly they're gonna have to write their numbers.
You didn't tell me that.
I forgot to mention that to you. Yeah, so
you know what? Okay,
they go have handwritten jerseys today. So that's yeah.
Okay, now you want to tell me that on here, but didn't tell me that.
I forgot.
Okay, it's all good. So we're gonna get off the subject because I can go on and on since I heard that. But anyway, what's been up with you, Hood Howard Stern?
Nothing much been going on with me, man. You know, same old. Did our show yesterday, of course. So make sure you check out the replay at eblockradio.com. But outside of that, man, nothing much really going on. I did also want to give a shout out to my man Fat Cat. Fat Cat just started his show yesterday, so shout out to my man doing his thing. But aside from that, though, just a daily grind, trying to do everything I can to stay above water. Kind of got my groove from good times. Let me see what's been going on in the city though that's affecting me, because I don't know ain't nothing really been going on. I think you're right. It's been kind of a slow motion week last week. Aside from doing the shows, I think that was about it. Like I was excited about the AAU thing just like he was until I seen how unorganized it was, but. At this point, he in there, so
I can't really complain because he in there.
Yeah, he in there.
We paying for it, so
yeah. So you gotta roll with it. But I'm pretty sure that it's I'm optimistic that's gonna turn out to be a good thing. Anytime that you can get kids into something that's gonna carry them through the summer, I think is a good thing. Anyway, I think at some point they gotta get more organized. I figure it can't get no worse. I mean, handwriting on jerseys though, like I figure it can't get no worse. But let me see. We did that, so that was last week. Did we? Other than that Saturday, what happened? Oh, shout out to my cousin Peaches, man. I went down to Nikki's. Was that Nikki's? Yeah, Nikki's on Friday night. So So shout out to my cousin Peaches, man. She just turned 40 on Monday. So shout out to Miss Peaches doing your thing. That really was about it. After that, it was just the grind. You know what I'm saying? Working, keeping your head down, trying to make moves and all that good stuff. But we gonna keep it on moving to like some of the hot topics going on. And you know what we gonna do today? Something a little different because it's against the grain. But CoCo J want to do all positive stories today, so we gonna do positive stories. So which one you want to start with? Well, first of all, I want to know why you grimming me like that.
We'll talk afterwards. But anyway, no, one of them was about the accident on the east side. Then I said after the fact we'll talk about.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it, but
okay.
I didn't want to talk about nothing bad after that because that's
right.
bad.
I got you. Okay. So what do you want to say about it? First of all, this is something that happened in Detroit. In case you're not familiar with the story, I think CoCo J is gonna give us a little bit of background on it right now. So,
well, yeah, it's about the 25-year-old who was just it happened on the east side, I believe. She just celebrated her 25th birthday. She had her 1-year-old and her 6-year-old in the car with her, and she was speeding, and she. To my understanding, she hit a pole and the 6-year-old died. The 6-year-old died. So, and the 1-year-old, the 1-year-old is okay, and she's still unconscious, and is unaware that her child has died.
And that's still to this point, like still she unconscious still.
Yes.
Okay.
She's still unconscious. But it's just, and I brought that up just because that is so sad that 6-year-old life is just gone like that. And they saying that when hopefully the mother do gain consciousness, that she's going to be charged with drunk driving,
right? Charged
with the death of her child,
right? Now, originally when the story came out, though, she was like supposedly getting chased or something, right?
Yeah, they were saying that her boyfriend or somebody. Boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, something like that. He was chasing her, but it came to be that was not true. So she was just for some reason speeding.
Right. So it wasn't nobody chasing her. Like that whole story was made up.
It was no. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Pretty much. So yeah, unfortunately that is the case, and I pray. My prayers and my condolences go out to the family for that 6-year-old girl. Because she was just so young, so precious. Any 6-year-old, I didn't know her personally, but any 6-year-old is precious,
right?
So my heart and my condolences go out to the family, and I hope that the mother pulls through. Although she may have some consequences behind what happened, but I really do hope she pulls through.
So they've already proven that she was drunk. Like
they said that she was drunk. Yeah, That's what the police said.
Yeah. Now you said the other one is a 1-year-old.
Yes,
that one's all right.
Yes, he was fine.
It's a boy. Okay.
Yes, he was fine.
No, that's a crazy situation though. So I mean, first of all, we just gonna talk about this for a minute because I know we want to stay on the negative stuff. But just while we talking about it, tell me what you think about that though. Like not this actual situation, but what you think about like the family members actually trying to make up a story to like I guess they was trying to protect her. I guess. Like, what do you think about that? Like, would you, if you out there doing that kind of wrong, like, and I mean, obviously, people drunk drive. That's how they be going to jail and killing people. But like, would you expect your family to like jump in like that and like create a story? And then on top of that, what about the dude they blamed all this shit on at first? Like, where he at? I know he tripping like dog. I wasn't even there.
But you know what? We don't know the background of their relationship, so they probably were just trying to put two and two together themselves as to why she was speeding.
Yeah, but you don't tell the authorities
I don't know if that was 100%. Like this is what happened, or they were just assuming that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if the family was just trying to put two and two together themselves, and that's what the information. So
possibly maybe they had an argument earlier, and they thought it was the same thing.
So I'm not sure, but
but I would have been pissed though because you brought me into something that's not even my situation. Like we argued earlier, but I ain't seen her in 2 hours.
Unfortunately, yeah. So, but that wasn't the case.
I wonder was the this is probably information you don't know, but I'm curious. Like I wonder if that child was this boyfriend that was supposedly chasing her. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Do that make things different though? Do it make it worse? Like don't you get more upset though? Like I'm just thinking from the dude's standpoint. Like, ain't you more upset though if you got accused for something and then on top of that is your kid that got killed though? Like, it's kind of, I don't know. I just thought way too deep into it.
I ain't thought that deep into it. I'm just thinking that the child have lost their lives.
Yeah.
So that's
obviously.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, so you want to move off of that?
Yes.
I think. Okay, so yeah, prayers out to the family. You know what I'm saying, that lost a child. Prayers out to the young lady who's in a. I guess, is she in a coma or just kind of unresponsive or something?
Yeah, they just say unconscious. So
yeah, but yeah, prayers out to her too. I hope she pulled through. And I'm telling you, like if she not coherent at this point, once she becomes coherent and find out,
devastated.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. She probably go
Yeah.
I mean, the only good thing out of this, which I mean, it's not really if you're trying to look at the light in the situation, is that there is one left. So, I mean, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to make it sound insensitive, but I mean, she is lucky to still have one, I guess. Like, not to say that the other child life was like, invaluable, but just the fact that she didn't kill both of them, I think there would be some solace in that. The only reason I say that is because if they were both dead, I would guarantee you that any mother would probably want to be dead as well in that situation. Like when she come to and she find out that it was her negligence that killed her kids, I'm pretty sure that she'd be like, she would have wished that it had been her as opposed to the kids.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably will wish that even with
the one. Yeah. But I'm saying that the only difference there is you got one left.
Yeah,
you do got one.
I understand what you're saying.
All right, so we'll move off of that though. Again, prayers out to the family. So we're going over to some good news. Now, did you want to talk about the principal first, or you want to talk about my man doing his acting thing on the Empire?
We can talk about the principal.
Okay. All right. So something I was unaware of actually until it was given to me just like 10 minutes ago about the principal from Cass Tech, and what was her name again? I'm sorry.
Lisa.
Yeah, we're gonna find her name in just a second.
Lisa
there.
Phillips.
Yep. So shout out to Principal Lisa Phillips over at Cass Tech. Even though I'm not a Cass Tech fan, but that's okay because I'm from Martin Luther King Crusaders.
All that.
I'm just saying. So King Crusaders.
Okay.
But anyway, yes. So she did actually win the Principal of the Year. Now this Principal of the Year for the state of Michigan. And oddly enough, well, I ain't gonna say oddly enough because the Detroit public schools are so frowned upon that I'm not even sure that even if a Detroit public school was doing well, that they would even get acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of surprised that they even got a nomination, I guess, because she had to be nominated first, right? So it was 10 of them that she 10 altogether or 10 others. All right, so yes, maybe possibly 10 altogether. But yeah, she ended up winning. So shout out to her. But what I did want to say, not just about her winning specifically, but just the state of the inner city schools, though. I think something like this should be more broadcast, because I didn't even know, so I hadn't even heard of this. Yeah, but it seemed like it needs to be even more celebrated, only because in the city of Detroit and other minority cities or inner cities, I guess you'd call them, we're struggling with education. So any type of bright light like this is something that needs to be shined very brightly so that people can get that so what is that face? So anyway, so the community can get that, that what's the word, that confidence back into the education of that city. I mean, what you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I think she was acknowledged. Like I said, it was on the news to where they show her receiving that award, and I mean that's good. I mean, I think that should give hope to the other Detroit public schools in Detroit, because she's the first principal in Detroit to ever receive that award.
I agree.
So that should give hope. So it's hope is still there, most definitely. You just gotta fight for it and put forth that effort, and don't, it's a lot of struggle still going on with the DPS, unfortunately. Yeah. But I'm still seeing them putting up a fight for the Detroit public schools, which is always a good thing. You just have to be, we definitely can't give up on it, on the Detroit public school system. So I mean, but definitely that is, as far as her winning the principal award and the first principal to win for Detroit is always a good thing. And like I said, it just gives the other principals hope and other schools hope.
Now the thing though, just thinking about that story, is just the fact though, this is the first time ever. So you mean to tell me there's never this whole time been a principal in the Detroit area that deserved to be principal of the year? Never, like the whole time.
Hey, according to this, no.
Right, but see that's just another way to look at how inner city schools are looked at. Because it is a weird thing, and I'm going to tell you why it's weird. It's weird because, first of all, no principal has ever been chosen from the city of Detroit.
But okay, so hold that thought 1 second. So that, and unfortunately, I hate to bring this up, but it's like, do you remember when all those principals not too long ago was charged stealing money, and it was a whole lot of them, too many of them, if you ask me. So it's like they in it for the wrong reason. Yeah, and I think that plays a major role in it. Yeah, and as far as trying to better the Detroit public schools, because it starts with the funding. It starts with the principal, which is the leader of that school, if you ask me. And, to a degree, exactly. And the administration will follow the principal lead, basically.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So it starts with the principal, dude. All
right, so let me let you in on a secret.
Okay.
This is a small secret. Okay. It's probably a small secret that maybe not people know or want to acknowledge. But the reality of it is that that's happening in probably every school district. What does get polarized though is the fact that the school is struggling. So when the school is struggling, and then you add that on top of it, then it just look devilish. But then like you go out to West Bloomfield or what's another supposedly good school system? Where was the other place Ryan was looking at?
North
Farmington. Yeah, Farmington Hills. You go to places like that where the school system is not struggling as bad, and then it's not. I guess they not looking for the corruption. Like it's almost like they looking for the corruption in places where the situation is bad because they trying to find anything to be able to fix it. So, and I'm not taking anything away from the fact that they did some wrong stuff. Like they definitely that was completely wrong. Like they were stealing money. Now the crazy thing about it though is that it's a double-edged sword though, because obviously like you said, it's coming from top down. So somebody greasing their palms. Although a lot of the administration, like the teachers and stuff, a lot of the teachers and stuff was taking a kickback to give back to the students because the situation was that bad. Like they was taking those mishandled funds to fund field trips and actually to give some of these kids like school supplies, school clothes and shit like that because the situation is so bad. So it's a double-edged sword because at the top, they greasing their palms, but at the bottom, like some of the teachers and stuff was really taking the money for the good of the students. And I know it's like Robin Hood, right? You're still stealing though, right? Even though you take it from the rich and give it to the poor, it's still stealing. So it's a tough one on that one. I don't know, but shout out to the principal over at Cass, man. I don't want to take away from her story, so shout out to Lisa Phillips. But Detroit Public School is a different school system. I mean, the only thing comparable I can probably think as far as what I've heard in the news is inner city New York schools as well as Baltimore. I think some of those are pretty bad. I was going to try to use another word, challenged. Some of those are challenged, but they're pretty bad, kind of like the ones in Detroit. But it's always, like you said, it's a silver lining to see something like this. But why did it take this long for? I mean, all the schools that bad? Like, we ain't never had a good principal in Detroit, like at no school. Like, not even elementary school. Now, I didn't read this, though, but is this, okay, yeah, it's for a secondary school. Okay, I was trying to see if it was for any other level of schooling. So, yeah, obviously it's for secondary school, which is a high school, so. Anyway, but, shout out to her and shout out to cast technicians over there doing their thing with the new school downtown. So, we go slide on over to some entertainment news here. And then we go pop off to our for real topic. So we was watching, I think this came on the news after Empire, right? I think they probably set it up that way.
Yeah.
But we was watching Empire the other day and noticed that somebody from the Detroit area, actually from West Bloomfield, is actually going to be a part of Empire. So we want to give a shout out to Phil Rice. All right, he's a 23-year-old actor from West Bloomfield. Now I didn't catch the beginning of the story where he said like how it came about, but I think it's dope at this point though that anybody, even from West Bloomfield, the only other person I can think of from West Bloomfield is what's my man name? The comedian dude, the one that played on Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow. What's his name? He from West Bloomfield too. What is his name? You know who I'm talking about though? The comedian? No? Oh, not ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from West Bloomfield too. We gonna think his name in a minute. I can't think of his name because I'm getting a blank stare over here. Like I don't know.
That's not Jordan.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Some Jackson.
Yeah, Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah, there we go. Jackson. Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah, from West Bloomfield. But yeah, not sure how he got the role. But definitely, I think it's something exciting for not just West Bloomfield, but the Detroit area. Because obviously, when you leave Michigan, people only associate with you with Detroit. So he's obviously from the Metro Detroit area. But I think that's dope, though. But I'm gonna ask you this though: if you had a 23-year-old kid who was into acting or something like that, given like not to make this too much of a venture here, but given the nature of some of the things on the show on Empire, how would you feel though? Like because being an actor on that show, you kind of don't know what situation he gonna end up acting in. So like, would you be apprehensive about that?
I think it all depends on what the role would be. If I knew exactly what the role would be.
But what it could be. I'm just saying, like realistically, watch Empire.
I have to steal some good things in him to where he take it upon himself and turn certain roles down. Yeah. Because all roles, just because you're offered the role, some roles you just may need to turn down.
Now how hard would that be though?
It would be hard.
A 23-year-old actor.
I know.
Get offered a position.
I know.
On Empire.
But all things are not good things. I'm just saying.
At 23 years old.
At 23, and you know what? Unfortunately, they just have to learn that the hard way sometimes.
At 23-year-old, as a 23-year-old actor, could you have turned down a role on something major like Empire? If this is what you do, like, you know what, I got out of school.
If it's something that I was not comfortable with and it just wouldn't sit right with me, no matter how much I tried to accept it, then I couldn't do it. Yeah. If it's something that you just not sitting right with you, no matter how much you have asked somebody else's opinion of it, and if it's something that's just not sitting right with me.
At 23, do you have that self-awareness?
You know what? At 23, I think they know if something is, you feel something is pulling at you and telling you
at
it's
23,
not right.
Do you have that self-awareness?
I don't know for all 23-year-olds. I can't say.
Did you?
I haven't been in a situation to where I had to, make a decision like that. Right. So I can't say.
At 23, I don't know. I can't tell you that I had that self-awareness where I would turn down a role. I think at 23, I've been grinding for however many years at whatever you do, acting school or whatever, back in them days. And at 23, anything other than kissing the dude, I think I'm gonna jump on. I'm jumping on.
Okay, so other than that, then what else? Other than you not kissing the deal, what a dude? A deal,
kissing the deal.
Other than you not kissing the dude, what else would you not want? What else wouldn't you do?
I mean, it's everything on there. It's drugs, violence, is smashing your old man wife. Like, it's everything is on there. So, like, being gay ain't the only thing that's on the show. That's not a good thing. That could be against your morals.
Well, I think that would be the major one for me. If I was to go for a role and I had to get down and dirty with the same sex as me.
Get down and dirty?
Like, yeah.
So you could kiss her. You could kiss a girl. Because that ain't down and dirty. Okay. Down and dirty means rolling around and they cut the commercial. That's down and dirty.
Me, like I said, you would know it. I think you would know it if it's something that just don't sit well with you, and you know it. And But some people go against it, what how they feeling, just because this is the big major role. So that means once you do that, you're going against that's going to get yourself basically. Yeah. So when you start doing that, then you go for anything.
I totally agree, but I just don't know at 23 if I had those.
I don't know. It all depends on what the maturity of that 23-year-old. Yeah. So
that's true. So just going back on that though, like as a parent though, like do you just warn them with that, or do you just let them find their way?
At that age, I think they have to just kind of find their way. I might, of course, as a parent, I'm going to put my 2 cents in.
Right.
Hopefully, it's 10 cents to. But right. I'm definitely going to put my 2 cents in, and they just eventually have to find their way.
Yeah.
At that age, yeah.
All right, yeah, just ask. All right, so we gonna move off of that, but shout out to my man Phil Rice. Not even sure exactly what he's playing on the show because I guess he couldn't get too much information. Obviously,
I do know it's kind of. He did mention a little bit. It was like kind of a violent role.
Yeah, he did mention that. Yeah, because he said it ain't really his kind of thing to be violent, but to get the part. See, so that's kind of that's different though, right? Because it's not it's not going against your sexual preference.
Right. So you just pretty much.
But you could be non-violent though.
Acting.
You cannot believe in violence, and that means that you're going against your grain, then, right?
I don't know.
All right, well we'll move from that now. So it's about that time, so we can jump on our for real topic. Don't forget, if you're on eblockradio.com or if you're on Blog Talk Radio, you can hit us up 760-283-4647 and hit that number 1 key. Getting ready to talk about our for real topic, man. So we want to know, can a relationship last if you are no longer in love? All right, so you want to give us a call 760-283-4647 and hit that number 1 key and holler at your boy, man. So, CoCo J, we're going to start with you, of course. Ladies first. So, can a relationship last if you are no longer in love?
I would have to say that I think a relationship can last. If you're in love but not in love. So let me if you're in love but not in love, I think a relationship still can last. And let me explain.
If you love and you're not in love, you mean?
If you're in love but not in, if you love that person but not in love with that person.
I thought that's what you meant.
So let me explain what I mean by that. And the only reason why I say that. Now, if you have been together and y'all fell in love with one another and y'all you've been married for a while, and whatever happened over the years, y'all slowly just fell out of love with one another. There's kids involved now. But you're no longer in love with one another. You've been married to this person 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, or whatever.
Yeah, 20 years, you might as well chalk it up.
So it's like, at that point, you know what? I ain't in love with your ass no more, but I still love you. We got kids, and we gon', you two have got comfortable with one another. So it does happen, and I've seen it happen. So it can happen.
Right.
Me personally, I don't think I can fake it. Try to fake it as long as possible, but then that would eventually be shown. Because to me, to be with the person for a long time, you have to still be in love with that person. Because I can say I love you all day long, but am I in love with you? Do I still see sparks when I look at you? Do I still get butterflies when I look at you? Are we still doing things together that people do when they're in love?
Like what though? I mean, you can do all those things and still see a spark and just love somebody and not be in love.
If you,
I mean,
really? Can you?
Yeah, can't you?
I don't think so. Not for me.
So?
I mean, a spark is when you just you look at this person like, I am so in love with this person. Like you just feel it with all your being. You know what I'm saying?
With all your being.
Yes, you just feel it. Versus, yeah, I love this motherfucker, and I'm gonna be with her or with him. But I ain't trying. But if something come along better, then if I think something come along better and I'm falling in love with him, I'm leaving. Or some shit like that.
I mean, people that's in love can think that. People that's in love can fall across. I mean, that's how people get cheated on. That's how affairs happen. People be in love.
They was never really in love then. Because when you're in love with somebody, Your main focus is the person that you're in love with. I don't think when you're in love with the person, no one can come in between that person you're in love with, only because your main focus is that person you're in love with. Now, when you're no longer in love with that person, you just love that person, then you have lost focus of that relationship to me. So, of course, you're kind of eyeing sideways, looking for some other shit to be going on and popping now, because you have fell out of love with this person that you're with. I'm just saying. So, it's a difference. You
But you saying, but in relation to the question, you saying that theoretically it can last for a pretty long time.
It can last for a long time, just only because two people have got comfortable with one another. When you have gotten comfortable with one another, you're gonna stay in that relationship, even if you're out of love with them. Only because you're used to one another. Okay. Only because maybe you don't want to leave because of the kids. Only because you might not have nowhere else to go. I'm just saying, only because of your financial situation, it's not as good as you want it to be for you to leave, and that's for the man and the woman. Yeah. So it depends on those situations as well.
I mean, it's probably a lot of people in that situation who, well, let me see how I want to say it. It's probably a lot of people in that situation, and they know it though, and they both know it. And they still stay in it. What you think about that shit?
I think,
because some people are okay with that.
But you know what? It's one thing to be okay with it. It's one thing to realize that, okay, you know what? Something has changed within this relationship or within this marriage. We have to get it back going. If you're working towards that relationship to fall back in love with one another. Versus, I ain't in love with him, but I'm staying. I ain't in love with him, but I'm staying. And you
now, how realistic is that?
And you're just content with the way things is in our relationship.
How realistic is that though? Like you really believe that? I mean, as far as like if you fall out of love, like we have a discussion, we talk about it, and we fall back in love. Like you believe that?
It can happen, yeah. But first, in order for that to happen, it has to be recognized between the both, the man and the woman. And then it has to be effort on both ends to say, okay, let's try to work this out. You can try to work it out and you still may not fall back in love with that person. But as long as you put that effort to try to make the relationship work and then realize, you know what, we just outgrew one another, basically. So, I mean, as long as you put the effort, but if you're just in there and without trying to put the effort, so you're just content now in this relationship because you've been in this relationship for so long. Yeah. And like I said, it's because...
There's probably a lot of married people like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
You got 5 kids. You got bank loans and property in y'all name. You like, shit.
And it's a lot of relationships like that, and thinking that they just waiting for something better to come along, unfortunately. And so you just gonna stick with this person because a lot of people, and to go a little deeper with it, a lot of people.
I don't know. Wait, I just want to cut you off though. Okay. I think not necessarily if you getting comfortable, you ain't even waiting on nothing better to come along. You just comfortable.
That's exactly right. That's true, and it's a lot of people who's scared to be alone. So they just content with that relationship because they think they need to have somebody, not necessarily in love with that person, right? But just because you've been with that person for a while. Yeah. So I mean, they have their reasons to why they stay in a relationship, even though they're not in love with one another. Right. But so what's the difference between love and being in love? It's the question.
Well, I guess the difference is that when you love somebody, like you said, there's a possibility that you can stray away because you can love somebody from afar, but you can't be in love with somebody from afar. So I think being in love is kind of like similar to what you said. I think it's when you think about that person's everything before yourself. I think that's in love, and that's kind of like almost. I can't say this though, because I can't say that any relationship will ever be aside from a parent-child relationship. There is no other relationship that's unconditional. Like people say that, you know what I'm saying? Like they throw that word around, but there's no such thing as that unless it's your kid. But I think the closest thing to unconditional love is being in love, which just means that you value that person's wants, needs, and whatever before your own. And like I think that a lot of times that may get misconstrued only because, like you said, you get comfortable and you feel like that to a certain degree. And once you start saying to a certain degree, then right, you kind of you are kind of falling, I guess, out of love. I guess that's the analogy you want to use. But at the end of the day, though, if you're not in love, to me, I think that relationship not gonna last long. You say people can fake it till you make it, like for a long time. I don't think so. I think eventually that something will happen that will force you to leave, even if you're comfortable. I think at some point you just gonna be like, dog, nah.
It could be to the point to where y'all just when you fall out of love with that person, and you just love that person, but y'all still together. You can turn into roommates just like that.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is when you have fallen out of love with this person, but y'all two are still acting like, you know, I don't even know if I want to call it a relationship. Y'all two still acting like y'all in a relationship, but the reality of it is, when you fall out of love with a person, it's gonna start eventually showing through your actions. Mm-hmm. So once those actions start to occur to where you're no longer in love with that person,
I don't know.
You're gonna start acting like roommates, baby.
I don't know.
This bill needs to be paid. That bill needs to be paid. Y'all may sleep next to one another. Y'all still may even have sex with one another. But is that feeling still there? Like, yeah. I am in love with you.
Are you still in love with me? Damn, we gonna have to get off the air. We're gonna take a commercial break in this motherfucker.
No, I'm so serious. So when it turns out to be to where it's a roommate situation, and y'all acting like y'all roommates rather than, you know, a relationship, husband and wife.
Yeah. Side note: this is verbiage from Derek Jackson. But go ahead. Go ahead. Who? Verbiage from Derek Jackson.
This is verbiage from me, CoCo.
I know, but he said the same thing though.
He did?
Yeah, about being roommates. Like you're not really. Anyway, this verbiage from Nicole Jackson, aka CoCo J. This verbiage.
But yeah.
No, so and only okay. I agree with that somewhat, and I say that only because you know, just speaking personally, you know what I'm saying, like Speaking personally, I say that from this side is that some men, unfortunately, we get our, you know, we get our what do you want to call our mannerisms or whatever from other generations, right? So some men are in love and still don't do certain things. So you can't judge.
That's only because y'all may not know how to show it because you never have.
Okay, right. So you can't judge that by saying that you out of love because you're not doing certain things. Like you just said that your actions will start showing it. That may not be the case. Okay. You just might not know how to do all of that. You know.
So that's where, and then if your woman is trying to tell you how she feel, how she needs to be treated, if you are in love with her, they're trying to show you. We're trying to show you how to treat us, and you're still not following. And it could be because you're not trying to, because you're no longer in love with us.
Or it could be that you just don't know how.
We're trying to tell you. Now it could be you just fucking hard of hearing.
so it's not kids getting told stuff and it's not adults being told that they job over and over what to do and they still don't do it. Because they just not getting it. That don't happen. You ain't never been in a situation where you just didn't get it. That doesn't happen to you because you are a superb adult human being. That just ain't never happened to you.
That can happen.
Because you act like it can.
That can happen.
But very rarely, right?
That's what you, at a new job, you're in training, right? Uh-huh. So you do what you're supposed to do while you're in training. You're getting told what to do and shown what to do. And you do it. And you do it the right way. You might mess up, but if we stay telling you this is how I want to feel to be loved, or whatever. This is the communication between you and your mate that you're with. Communication is the key. So once again, if you're in love with that person, then that's a communication between you two, because it's not one person can't. Sorry. One person can't be in love in the relationship and the other person is not. Because it's not going to work.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not gonna work.
I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Then, haven't I heard a saying?
What's the saying?
From you?
What's the saying?
Have I heard a saying from you?
You sure it was me?
Yes, it was you. Something that your auntie told you. Didn't I hear a saying?
Oh, that if you're not in love with that person eventually, you're like, what was it?
Yeah. Like if you're not in love with that person, but that person is in love with you, you will eventually learn to be in love with them.
You said my auntie saying.
Right, but you. So you didn't second that emotion.
I did not.
You didn't second that emotion. Really?
I don't recall a second. No.
Seriously. Okay, so you gonna tell that lie.
I'm not lying.
You gonna tell that lie. It's all good though. It's all good. So yeah, you second that emotion. It's all good. So for people out there listening on eblockradio.com right now, you got about 10 minutes left, man. Make sure you hit us up 760-283-4647 and hit that number 1 key, man. Holler at your boy. So we want to know, can a relationship last if you are no longer in love with that person? 760-283-4647. Hit that number 1 key. CoCo J say that at some point you possibly could stay in a relationship if you're no longer in love, and it could last a long time. That's what she's saying. I don't think it will necessarily last that long though, because I think if you're not in love right at this moment, if you're not in love at that moment, it's gonna be you gonna be able to tell, and you gonna have to bust up. You gonna have to dip out on the situation. That's the way I see it. But if you got a different opinion, or even if you agree with me, just hit me up 760-283-4647. Now CoCo J is steadily fighting. That thing that she seconded on her auntie, who said, you know what I'm saying, and I quote, that if you're not in love with that person, as long as that person is in love with you, you will one day learn to be in love with that person. Now, see, that means there's a lot of relationships out here that could be lopsided. And I think this is a woman thing, but I think it's lopsided, and they are holding out for that opportunity to fall in love.
Well, you know what? I don't think she really meant that as far as when it comes to marriages. I think she meant that when it comes to when you're in the beginning stages of dating and or maybe even a relationship. The
beginning stages of dating, you're trying to learn to be in love with somebody?
No, I'm saying when you're getting to know this person, and this person, because half the time it's either the woman or the male falls in love first. I don't know, but somebody falls in love first. Never both at the same time. That two people fall in love at the same time.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It's always either the male or the woman first. So I think that's what she meant, to where if that person falls in love with you, eventually, if he shows or she shows that they're in love with you, then eventually you're going to start falling in love with him or her because of the effort that you see that they're putting forth in that.
Yeah, not so much.
Yes.
No, but look, and this is the reason I say this. It was a movie that I had seen, and what was the name of that movie? I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was Jennifer Lopez and somebody else. I can't think of the dude. Name. It was Jennifer Lopez and somebody else. But anyway, what she had was a dude that I want to say he grew up with her, and he loved her to death. And her old man told her the same thing though. Told her exactly that. He was like, that young man is in love with you, and you need to go ahead and just make it happen. Because she ended up she actually fell in love with a dude she was helping. She was a wedding planner. She fell in love with another dude.
That. Wedding planner.
Is that the name of it?
I think so.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they went all the way to the end. She took his word, and she ended up going to marry the dude that was in love with her. But then while she was there, she realized, like, no, I can't even do this. So I don't think that at any point.
That's a movie, you know that, right?
But art imitates life, dog.
But I'm saying
art imitates life, though. Art imitates life, right?
Not all of it. No, it's some added shit.
So where do it come from?
I'm just saying, it's some added shit to it. The twist is always a twist to the movies.
I mean, art imitates life, though.
That
is
true.
That.
But I'm just saying, not all of it. There's always a twist put in those movies. So anyway, whatever.
Nah, but anyway, I say all that to say that I think that if you're not in love, it's gonna be over quicker than later. I know that people get lazy and people get comfortable, and you got kids and everything involved. But man, you've been seeing people married for 20 years step off. So
but we're saying if you fall, if you was once in love, but once you're out of love, after all those years, do you stay? For the most part, for the older people. Hell no! For older marriages that have been married for a long time, they're gonna stay because they're comfortable. They have shit invested in their marriage. They're staying, even though they're not in love no more. Now, in the beginning stages of a relationship, and you realize you're still young and you're no longer in love with this person, can it work out? No, I don't think so. Because you're still young, you still have time to venture off and find true love or whatever you want to call it.
Now that sounds like a movie.
No, serious. Oh, it ain't true love out here.
No, that sounds like a movie.
So why that sound like a movie? Because it's true love?
No, because you used the word true love, though. Who uses that?
I did. Goddamn it. Because it's still true love out here somewhere.
So look, we got a few minutes left. If you're on eblockradio.com or if you're on Blog Talk Radio, you can hit us up 760-283-4647 and hit that number 1 key. CoCo J, I want to ask you I know we're talking in general right now, but on a personal level, at who you are to this day, with all of your self-awareness, can you stay in a relationship that you are not in love? You personally.
Me?
Not what you could do and what you would do, but could you?
Me?
You?
No. I'm still young. I'll be 40 in August. So no, I could not stay in a relationship with the person that I'm no longer in love with. I want to be in love with the dude I'm with, the guy I want to marry or who I'm married to. I want to be in love with that person because I want to feel that, every time I wake up in the morning and turn you right there, I want to be in love with you. I'm staring at the person that I'm in love with.
Right.
Not the person I just love his ass. And I wish he'd get the hell out of my bed, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
you gotta be in love with the nigga that you're looking at his CPAP mask and shit.
So definitely I have to be in love with that person. So it would personally, no, I couldn't stay in a relationship.
So with that being said, though, obviously you said that you couldn't, but how long would you wait? Because you said basically you can fake it till you make it.
You can. I speak my mind. So
no, do you?
I probably won't. It won't be that long.
So like, how do you have that conversation? Now this is just in general. People, if you listen to eblockradio.com or if you on Blog Talk Radio, hit us up 760-283-4647 and hit that number 1 key. But like, how do you have that conversation? And you've been answering all the questions, so I guess I'll start off with this one. I think it's a weird, uncomfortable place, especially when you are not sure. Because like, well, let me ask you this before I jump off what I was gonna say. Is it a possibility to be unsure whether you're in love with somebody or not?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
So so you couldn't act on the uncertainty. Because then you could be wrong and you just messed everything up.
Because our relationships go through things. So you can be mad at that person just because y'all had an argument or, y'all mad at one another right now and you can instantly say, I ain't in love with this motherfucker no more. Only because you're mad. But in reality, you're still in love with this person. You're only saying that just because you're going off your kind of emotional feelings right now. Yeah. So you can say I ain't in love with him, but that's not necessarily the truth just because y'all had an argument. Right. So I wouldn't say react to that feeling. Okay. So in other cases I will say, how to start off with that person is as far as saying, how would you start that conversation off telling that person you're not in love with them?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I would be like, you know what, baby? We need to talk.
Oh man, that is classic woman shit right there. Look, I ain't bashing all the femininities out there, but dog, that's classic woman stuff for real. Definitely an issue there. We gotta talk. Once you hear we gotta talk, it's going all downhill from there, man. You got a couple minutes left, man. Make sure you hit us up if you got a comment on today's topic. 760-283-4647. Hit that number 1 key. can a relationship last if you're no longer in love? So at this point, we all in agreement that it can't actually last. I guess the only thing that we have a discrepancy on is how long can it actually last. Now, the thing is, I know people back in the day, though, and we talk about, our parents, our grandparents, I think a lot of them, in order to get, legitimately, in order to get 50 or 60 years in the game, I can't lie. At some point, you couldn't have been in love. You can't be in love.
I mean, at some point, you have to be in love.
I mean, I'm saying at some point later on, though, at 50 years, you don't really care no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not true.
Really?
You really think so?
I think so.
Damn, I want to be in love still 50, 60 years later.
I mean, all the way in love? Well, you done got kids and grandkids.
So what? You're probably
comfortable.
So what? But you can still be in love. But
so
that's the whole...
you could be mistaken that comfort as being in love, though, for 50 years.
For some people, you're right.
That's like a job. Like, you hate your job shit for 30 years, but after 35, you're like, you know what?
But that's why they always say you have to keep the flame going. You can't.
You 70.
You cannot. I don't care.
How you keep
the flame going.
You 70.
Hey, if y'all go chew together with y'all, whatever, teethless.
Shout out to all the people with dentures out there right now laughing.
I'm just saying.
Or if you sit next to the glass with the dentures in the water next to you. What up, dog?
Hey, baby, we gonna do this together because you know what? We still in love. Holding hands, doing
right.
it.
And if she ain't got no teeth, you in for a good time, honey.
You're so ignorant, dude. Anyway.
Hey, on that note, man, it's about this time to get up out of here, dog. We're gonna go around one last time before we get out of here. But you got like a couple like real quick seconds if you got something to say. 760-283-4647 and hit that number one key, man. But CoCo J, what you say? Can a relationship last if you are no longer in love?
You know what? It will only last for a short time. Now, like I stated earlier, and I'm gonna stick with this. Mm-hmm. If you've been in a relationship, I'm gonna say a marriage for long as 20 years, you have kids together. It's a possibility that y'all, it's gonna last. Not because y'all in love, just because you two are comfortable with one another, But as a young couple, married. And haven't been married that long. If you two realize that you two are out of love, but you two are something happened, and you two are not working towards that relationship, then it's not going to last. Yeah. I don't think it will last. How soon will you two be aware of it? I don't know. Yeah. That all depends on that relationship.
Now, before I say what I gotta say, I think you alluded to this already, but at no point are you comfortable being in a relationship where you just love that person. At no point is that acceptable.
I want to be in love with the person I'm with. I don't want to just love you. I can love you from afar. I can love you for a friend. I can love you just because you exist. I want to be in love with you, though.
Right.
I want to be in love with you, and being in love is something special. I want that specialness between us.
The specialness.
Yeah.
I feel you. All right, on that note, man, I don't think can a relationship last if you're no longer in love? I kind of agree with CoCo J on a portion of that, as far as I think it can last for a moment. I don't think it can last too long because at some point, the actions, as you mentioned before, the actions will reflect it. Obviously, if this is your partner, then you should be able to differentiate the difference between the fact of whether they stop doing certain things because they out of love, or the fact that they never actually knew how to do it. So, but if that's your partner, you should already know that. So when you first met them and y'all was in love, and they wasn't doing certain things, basically you can't expect for them to do it now. But if they were doing certain things, I know this is a woman thing too, because women always concentrate on how men stop doing things, and they automatically associate that with falling out of love. But at the same time, women never examine their own actions. But that's a whole nother story right there. So we'll get back to that maybe next time. But I want to thank everybody who checked us out today on eblockradio.com. Everybody that checked us out on Blog Talk Radio. Make sure if you missed yesterday's show or this show and you listen to the replay, you can listen to all the replays at www.eblockradio.com. eblockradio.com. If you got an iPhone, you can go to the podcast the podcast app and look up eBlock Radio, and all the replays will come up there. And if you got Android, you can download our app from Google Play. So until next week, man, you know exactly what it is. It is the livest relationship show on the web right now. He say, she say. CoCo J not saying nothing. Like I don't even know. I think she ready to go.
With your girl CoCo J. Have a safe and blessed weekend.
Peace out, y'all.
This is a Tricky Beat production.